Okay, so what we're going to look at here is on Easyweb, going to the Defects tab and bringing up a defect summary report. At the top of the screen where the cursor's moving, you can see that we have an area, a zone, and a street, and a units table. First thing we're going to do is select the area. If I click that, it will highlight and identify to me here that we've got 1,222 units. If I select an individual zone, which may be a ward within your council boundary, etc., it will filter down to the streets that are within that zone, and then on the individual streets, the individual units. So you can filter right down for one individual unit. But for this exercise, I'm going to look at the whole database. So if I hold the control key down and click on zone again, that will go back to my 1200 units. I can also reset all, which will clear all the filters at the top of the screen here. And if I click my area again, I start again. The other tabs have been dealt with within the other tutorials, but on this tutorial we're looking at the defects action reports, and in particular we're going to look at the defects summary. So I click on my defects action report. Here's where the filters are that I can apply to the report, and over here are the reports that I'm able to select. In this instance I'm going to select the defects summary, so I click on that till it's highlighted, and then I move the cursor down to view that report. When I click that, another window will pop up which is identifying the defect summary, and this is showing the electrical defects, it's showing the structural defects, and it's showing any limitations that we've had on the work that's been carried out. Looking at the electrical defects, you can see that they're split into two groups. They actually replicate the same defects that have been identified but shown and presented in a different way. So at the top here we have basic protection down to festive lighting as a heading, and these are showing on the quantities of defects that we've got, split between defects that are either the responsibility of the DNO or the responsibility of the private local authority or owner of the equipment. These same, in this instance 413 defects, are shown again. As you can see, there's 413, but this time they're identified rather than by what they are. At the bottom here they're shown as how dangerous they are, with obviously the code ones being the most dangerous. Below that, where it's appropriate, again we've got structural defects where we've carried out inspections and testing on the actual street lighting equipment, and in this instance we can see that we've got 86 red defects. This is in accordance with the TR22, the ILE's TR22 document. We've got 86 red defects which are split between non-repairable and repairable, with 65 being non-repairable, things such as holes in columns, hit by cars and so on, and repairable defects being those that are maybe leaning or have got bracket problems, etc., things that can be repaired. And then below here we've got high priority and low priority amber defects. And then we have the limitations. Any of these reports can be looked at through the defect summary, so that we can, for example, if we wanted the 65 red defects that were non-repairable, we can just click on that and that will turn the defect summary into the report that we're looking for. Briefly runs through, and in this report it identifies there were 65 defects on 45 separate columns, and if we scroll down here we can look and we can see in this instance this particular unit, for example, has got 2 red defects on it, and that's why we have more defects than columns. And so that identifies the uses that you can make with the defect summary report. If I close that and go back in again and view the report, there we go, we have the defect summaries, a very powerful report and very useful, dipping into your information to find out what the latest situation is.